What happens if you combine a hotel manager with the silliness of the 2-point series? Well, you are getting Hotel Architect. And it is time to talk a little bit about the early access version of the game, which should be live in just a few hours when you are seeing this review on time. And thank you very much, Wired Production, for the early review key. So, what is it? How does it play? And where does it stand as an early access game? As I said, you are managing a hotel. And as you can already see with the characters and the graphics, of course, the game is not taking itself too serious. But even though the whole thing is a little bit more funnier and there are a lot of funny moments in the game, the whole business side is very serious. There is a real management game here, and yes, surprise, you have to manage your hotel in a relatively serious way so that you are not going under. And the first thing I definitely want to talk about is the building aspect, right? You are starting out with a hotel where you have a lot of room. And then, of course, if you would play the sandbox mode, which does exist for every of the 4 places on the world map right now, which are in the early access version, you completely start from scratch. Now, what I have to say is if you are somebody who wants to immediately start into Sandbox, you do have to play through the campaign of every region first to unlock that Sandbox mode in said region. So let's say you want to start in Sandbox in Greece, then you have to play through that so-called scenario, aka the campaign of that region. But the good news is they're relatively fast, the scenarios, and they are more or less like glorified tutorials, right? They're introducing you to new gameplay features and how, let's say, the different temperatures work in different regions and how, let's say, bar works, right? They're trying to introduce you to new gameplay features. And I would say a scenario takes about 2 hours, give or take, to finish. And then you can immediately jump into the sandbox of that region and can play as much as you want. And yes, because it is early access, there will be more regions to come. So, now the building. How does it feel? How does it go? Actually, really good. Like, I do like the building. There are a few issues here and there because on how the system really works. So when you're building something in this game, it's not just appearing or disappearing magically. You have to hire workers, and those workers are coming in, and then they're actually starting the building process, right? They are putting down every single piece of the room you told them to build, and the same goes for the items. So that also means if you want to move something later on around in an area which doesn't exist yet, you kind of have to wait till the workers are coming in and doing at least a little bit of work that you can now work with that area, right? So it takes a little bit of time and it's not as fluid as it could be. Because as I said, like, you need to make sure that the room exists first, or at least exists to a certain degree. So you don't have to, I know this sounds a little bit weird, but you don't have to wait till the full room is finished before you can actually do make changes to it, thankfully. You basically sometimes have to wait till the first floor part has been built in the room, and then the room is acknowledged to be in building, and then you can do things with it. But the same goes when you're moving things around or when you're removing walls. Like, things have to happen first before you can really work with it, which makes the building sometimes feel a bit slowed down. It doesn't feel as fluent as it could be. But building rooms, right? Like making sure that your hotel looks the way you want to is super easy to do. Like, I really love how easy it is to sketch out rooms and to make it look like the thing you want to. There is also no copy and paste function, which is a bit unfortunate. I understand why they are doing it, because they really want you to take the time to sketch out every room and make it your own, because there are tons and tons of options. It's not Sims level of option, but it's getting quite close actually. I would go so far to say that it can easily keep up with the 2 point games when it comes to unlocking all the little doodads and all the little things you can put into the room. So they give you tons of options here, and they want you that you're utilizing this by really making the rooms feel like they're a unique process. But with that said, copy pasting a room or even like copy pasting an item or something would be really nice to have, and I think it should be in the game. If you want to use that, it's then up to you, right? I wouldn't necessarily do it, but I already found some moments where I just thought, I'd love to copy this item. Now I have to go into building. Now I have to go through the menus and find that item again, instead of just saying, copy this item, put it in there, right? So yeah, that would be definitely a feature I would love to see. Now that you have built a room, let's talk about the management aspects. What's here? Well, there's actually quite a bit in this game. You are managing a hotel, and that means that you are getting tons and tons of different guests who are coming in there. You're starting out with like backpackers and sporties who do have their needs, but it's very small, right? Like a backpacker needs a room size of 4 and doesn't really need a room value at all. They are just super happy that they have a roof over their head, that they are getting something to eat, and that they can sleep in an area for like a day or two. And then with sporties, which is just the second category, right? You already need a room size of 8 and a room value of at least $7,500. And so they're happy, and then it goes higher and higher and higher till you are getting basically the upper crust, who wants a room size of 30 and a room value of 50,000, and they need all those things you have to take care of, and you have to build your hotel accordingly, right? You have to give them a restaurant, you have to give them a lounge area, you have to give them a spa, you have to give them certain different amenities, so that they will actually like your hotel. And if they don't do like your hotel, well, that's not really what you want, because then your guest review scores going down, and that means less people are coming in, less like higher star rated people coming in. There are also critics which are coming into your hotel and checking everything out. And the higher the star rating of the critic, of course, the more higher level people are coming in, and so on and so forth. So there is a lot you want to take care of. And this is the a little bit of the funny bit, but also very serious bit. Every person who is checking into your hotel and is also working in your hotel, we're talking about the staff here in a second, have health. They can die. Yeah, depending on the activities and the things they are doing in your hotel, they can die. And dead guests, yeah, that makes a really bad Yelp review, you know. And even worse, they can come back as ghosts. Unfortunately, I don't have any ghosts here right now. Thankfully, none of my people died too often yet. But there can be ghosts in your hotel, and as funny as it might sound to have a haunted hotel, believe it or not, guests don't like that too much. So yeah, you have to take care of that as well, or even better, don't let people die, right? Makes better guests. They're also coming back if you are lucky. So, yeah, don't do that. But you also have your staff you are caring for, and as you probably know from other management games, the staff can level up, right? but the more they are leveling up, they also want a higher salary. And then, of course, they are coming with different attributes, and they can be positive attributes and they can be negative attributes. I have to say, though, because of you can hire staff which has only positive attributes, a lot of the time you are going through the people who try to hire or who try to be hired in your hotel, and you're just looking for the ones which have the best attributes, right? Like the level they're getting over time. It's not too much of a big deal that you always want to go with the highest level, but those attributes are permanent, right? And so you want to make sure that you're always getting the good attributes, and that is relatively easy to do. So there is no real reason to say, he has two really good attributes, but there's a negative one. Okay, let's take that person anyways. You will probably find somebody with two or three good attributes on the list relatively easy. So they have to balance that a little bit, but it's there. And that, of course, can also go to very funny interactions with the people, with the guests coming in, because they do interact with each other, and that can lead to just people shouting at each other or even starting a fight. And that is, of course, not so good for your hotel, but it does create some funny interactions nonetheless. There's also a whole research tree which is giving you quite a bit of stuff you can upgrade and add to your hotel. When you're playing through the campaign and playing through the side missions, you are also getting more and more items you can get. And there are also ways on how to make extra money with opportunities, basically sponsorships, but they are always negative, right? They give you like a good amount of money, but they will also drag down the beauty of your hotel quite a bit. Like you can literally put down some radioactive waste in your hotel, and as you can imagine, that's not so beautiful as it might sound. Um, but there are like quite a bit of management stuff, and money is important. I definitely had quite a bit of moments where everything cost quite a bit of money, and at the beginning you are not making a lot of money. Like a room can easily cost you like 10,000 to build, and the person who will then live in that room is maybe giving you 1,000 in total, or maybe 2,000 if you get a sporty, right? And you realize very quickly that, especially at the beginning, um, you will lose quite a bit of money, and you will not make that much quick money, right? So now that we have talked about that, how was the game in an early access state? Really good. I didn't had any bugs, I didn't had any glitches, I didn't had any crashes. The game is running completely fine. Like I don't had any issues. My PC is actually bored 99% of the time, and there's not much happening. Like you see the graphics and all that, and that is exactly what you were getting. It's not one of those games where looking at the graphics and you still need NASA PC to actually run the game. You are getting exactly what you see from a graphic perspective, and how much it will eat up your PC or even laptop. Like it's a very easygoing game on that. But again, no bugs, no glitches on my end. It was just running completely fine. There is tons of content already here. And especially if you were into the whole sandbox mode with the different temperatures you have to look out for, with the different rooms you have to plan, the items you have to offer, the staff, the different guests, like there is definitely a good size here. It's definitely not complete. There are also a few issues here and there. Like as I said, the building process feels sometimes a bit wonky here and there, especially if you want to make some changes to a room. You sometimes have to wait till the workers have, like as I said, open up a wall or made some changes here and there before the game is acknowledging that you can now utilize the room. And there is another thing like the copy paste I have already talked about, but there is something which I personally find a little bit weird. So when you're hiring workers, right, you hire them, they are not just there. You have to hire them, they come in, and they're always walking to their car, and from the car to the room they are building. That's highly inefficient. So they give you a material site or multiple material sites. You can just build around the area where you build the room, right? So they're just going to the material site instead of running to the car all the time. And that's cool. That's nice. Really cuts down the walking time. But what is weird is the material site has a limited use, and after 30 uses, which is not that much, it will disappear. And you have to put down a new material site. And I'm like, wait, why do you not make it automatically replenish, right? That one worker has to walk to the car and then automatically replenish, or doesn't have supply at all. Because here's the funny bit, the material side doesn't cost money. It's free. You're just putting down like 5 material sites when you're starting to build a room, and then you can solve basically that issue. Or you could just put down one material site and it automatically replenishes, right? But though, if you don't do that, then you have to put down a material site manually every time it's running out. And it's like, why? It doesn't cost you money. I would have totally understand if it costs you money, and this is how they want to regulate a little bit the whole thing, right? You get a speed bump in building a room, but it costs you money to do so. But they don't do that. It's a free thing you're putting down all the time. So why make it like for me manually to replenish that all the time? Just make it automatically, or don't use supplies at all. Bit weird. But I don't like this is the point. I'm actually really happy with the state of this game. If you're looking for a management game with a little flavor and some funny interactions here and there, which doesn't go as crazy as the 2 Point series. Like they are not going completely like out of whack, but there's still quite a bit of funny interactions with an underlying serious management game. And I really enjoyed that. I think what's here is already a really, really good base. And I'm really looking forward to what they will add over time to the game, because what's already here is quality. And when it is done, this could become an even better management game. But for what is here, it's already fun. I think the demo is still available on Steam. They had a demo. I haven't looked it up yet. I'm sorry. That's a failure on my part. Uh, but check out the demo if you want to get a feeling for this game. And yeah, we are done with the review. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. If you still have some questions, let me know down below in the comments. I will try to answer them as quickly as possible. And again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a like. It helps me quite a bit. And also, if you're new to the channel, you want to see more strategy games, reviews, and guides, and also some live streams, that's what we are focusing on here, then I would appreciate if you subscribe. With that said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Stay safe. Bye bye.